and today I'm here to talk to you about 5 mobility drills that will help improve your deep squat. First and foremost, I want you to think about your feet. I feel like feet are neglected pretty regularly by most people. We may think about stretching if you stretch at all, but a lot of people don't stretch their feet. So if you're lacking in ankle mobility, ankle dorsiflexion, your squat will not be as deep. So we're going to start there. So we're going to cover 3 different foot mobility drills. The first are toe pulls, then we're going to go into pointing and flexing and giving a little bit of assistance with your own, with your hands, and also working on slow circles, and you can also give yourself assistance there. So we're going to start with toe pulls. It's just an pretty easy drill. You're going to stand up and you're going to tuck one foot. Just tuck your toes under. You're not going to put a lot of pressure there. It's pretty gentle, but you are going to tuck. You may find this a little bit painful in the beginning, so obviously work through that. We're not trying to have you go into pain, but if you don't work your feet, you may find some pain in the beginning. So you're just going to dip the toe and then dip on the knee. So you're going to pull, you're going to roll the toe out. So work both ways and just kind of dip. From there, we're going to point and flex, but I like to do this on the ground, so I give a little bit of assistance. So I'm pulling my toe in, getting that dorsiflexion, and then pointing, giving a nice stretch there. So point and flex. You can also do this in a kneeling position, which I'll show you here in just a second, and then also the circles. So nice slow circles, getting a big range of motion, but again, you can also use your hand to do that. Another way, like I said, on starting in quadruped, you can also go up on your toes here, put a little bit more pressure, and bring the toes in here. Okay, if you want to sit back and get that range of motion there, you can build up some mobility in your feet. Second, we're going to talk about prying with the ankles. So you're going to go into a half kneeling stance. You're going to then put a little bit more pressure forward on that front leg, and you're going to grip the back heel with the right hand, so same side, and then you're going to go overhand on the front of the foot. Now, when you breathe here, I want you to think about prying, breathing in. You're pushing that knee forward over the second, third, and fourth toes, so right kind of through the middle foot there. You're going to push forward, not allowing your heel to come up. If the heel rides up, you've gone too far, and that's showing where you were compensating. So grip, pry, breathe into this drill. Okay. From there, we're going to go into the hip flexor stretch, and we're already in the right position. We're just going to make a few changes. So you stay in half kneeling, but while for ankle prying we were using a forward motion and putting the weight over the front leg, for the hip flexor stretch you're actually going to have the weight over the back leg. So make sure, and you can have a flat foot or dorsiflex the foot, whichever you prefer. But what I want you to think about is the weight is here on this back leg, and if you have it there properly, you should be able to lift this leg up. Okay, so it puts all the weight on the right spot. Then we're going to do a posterior pelvic tilt. Easy to remember, point your belly button towards your face, and then we're going to pry and breathe into this hip. So this one's just here as a guide. This is where all the work's being done, right here. Nice exhalation. I like to visualize the breath path in a lot of the moves that I do, whether I'm lifting or stretching. So for me here, when I'm breathing out, I want to think that I'm trying to push that air out that hip. So I'm pushing that breath through that hip, really opening up the hip flexor. And this is a very small move. You do not have to try to get way in here and let it become a move in the lumbar. So sit tall, weight on the back leg, pelvic tuck, and then push it forward. Okay? Now obviously the goal is to do both sides, but I just want to get all of these drills out to you guys and not make you sit here for a very long video. So, ankle circles, toe pulls, prying, hip flexors. Let's go into 2 other drills that are going to be really great for your hips and increasing the depth of your squat. While not everyone may be able to go to a rock bottom squat right now, most people can regain this ability. We're born this way. We can squat. Any child is going to squat down into pretty much perfect squat form to pick up their favorite toy. And as we get older, we become dysfunctional and we stop this movement for multiple reasons. So next to the Cossack drill, which is going to be a side-to-side movement, working your adductors, opening up the hips, getting a really good range of motion, and then we're going to work into the tactical frog. So for the Cossack, just remember to work at your range of motion where you're at right now. The goal is to eventually, if possible, get to the ground, but I'm going to show you those different ranges. So the goal is start wide. You're going to turn one foot out. So this is the non-working leg, the non-squatting leg. This one's going to stay straight. The other side is going to bend. Now, really quick, one key point. I don't mind if your foot goes forward or it turns out slightly as long as your knee tracks that toe. So, toe forward, toe out, knee out. Not toe out, knee in, okay? We don't want any valgus collapsing. So, again, hinge at the hips, one side stays straight. This may be your range of motion. If it is, then you just go side to side, okay? If you have more range of motion or as you start to loosen up, go ahead and try to get deeper. These are Cossack drills. I like to get to as low as I can and then do a little bit of prying here, pushing out on this leg, maybe sitting down, coming back out of that position. The key here is when you turn this toe up, your hip is going to open more and you're going to get more depth. So make sure that you turn this foot. You're not trying to keep it down on the ground here. So turn it towards the ceiling and really sit into that position. So those are Cossack drills. And the last drill that I'm going to cover with you is called the tactical frog. Again, this is a drill that over time you will gain more mobility. So you're going to start in quadruped. You're going to push the knees out, okay, and turn the feet out. So I'm going to kind of turn sideways so you can see this a little bit better. So as you get into this position, you pry the knees out. I'm going to go down onto my elbows and push my hips back. Now, depending on your mobility, you may find that you're up here, your hips are a little high, but the key is to get your hips past your knees and get into this position. And then just hang out there for a while. Get a nice exhalation. Breathe into this position. If you have great mobility already and you want to make it even better, then you can start slowly focusing on laying on the ground. Pry the hips, hang out here for a little while, and then slowly you would actually crawl out of this position and come back up. So my recommendation is to add these into your weekly training. If you're going to be squatting, try a drill, test it. So for what I mean by that is do the ankle drill, try your squat, see if the range of motion is better. Then try the prying drill, do a squat. So by doing that, you're going to let yourself know where you're compensating, where you're lacking mobility, and which one of these drills is best for you. Or just do them all on a regular basis and improve your squats. So have a great day. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you guys leave me feedback. Take care.